Hi everybody, it's Cyclone with another Trillium beer review for you all tonight. I'm going to be finishing off my day and basically having this as my meal, my dessert, and really just, it's been a long week and this is a way to relax a little bit, guys. This is the Raspberry Chocolate Gateau. This is a Trillium dessert stout with the white label with the piece of dessert on it, guys. These are the beers that I always enjoy looking out for. Now, this beer has been on their online store for a bit now, but the problem is this bottle does not have a date. Unfortunately, this will not get the 10 from me, but can it get the 99? We're about to find out. It was 20. I have to go review the price tag. It wasn't cheap, but it wasn't outrageous. It was like 24 bucks for this, 11% stout with raspberries in it and some chocolate in it. I mean, I'm expecting a tasty treat here. My interest is how much is the raspberry playing with the profile of a stout? It's not typically something you pair together, roasted malt and fruit. But, you do have your Belgian fruit ales, and let's just say you can't have a delicious chocolate-covered raspberry taste in your beer. To me, that sounds really delicious. And I recently had the daily serving, which is a like sub 4% beer, and it just featured like a raspberry smoothie, and the raspberry was there. So maybe they're doing something with the raspberries, and let's find out what this beer has to offer. I have one more bottle after this. I assume the bottle is like maybe a month old, maybe less than that, and the cap flying. Oops. Let's dig in and see how fruity this is. That's really what I'm interested in seeing. I do smell it in the nose. Guys, I smell it in the nose. I smell the raspberry and probably a milk to slightly baker's dark chocolate, like right in the middle of that. Let's pour it out and see what we're getting here. Yeah, guys. Nice, rich, nutty, dark brown. It's basically a chocolate style. Ton of carbonation. I poured it fairly aggressive. We're getting 3 fingers ahead, and it's very, look at those bubbles, guys. Aggressive bubbles. You're talking mega soap. Wow, the bubbles are soap plus, guys. Super soapy bubbles. No light at all, 11%er. Let's get a nose, official nose on it. And it's even starting to leave some residue already. That's crazy. Smells like raspberries and chocolate. You get that milk chocolate. Okay, now we're starting to get like that chocolate mousse milk chocolate. Okay, Trillium. And look at the residue on my glass. I don't think I've seen a Trillium with that head before. That's new, guys. This soapy bubbles. Look at that. It's almost like too much. I'm not used to that from a Trillium beer. That's weird. It's just a layer of soap. Look at that. The raspberries are there, guys. They're absolutely there. Definitely a milk chocolate and a raspberry scent. Maybe a hint of some molasses and roasted malt, but it's not super prevalent. I'm getting more of the dessert qualities. That is the weirdest head I've ever seen in a Trillium stout before. I have never. It is a pillow of soap. Look at that. You see that? That's crazy. Let's taste it, though, and see what we got. Now the head's dissipating, and it's leaving this crazy residue all over the glass. This is interesting me. I don't know what I'm going to expect here. Let's find out. That is absolutely delicious, guys. It's exactly what is advertised in the bottle. That is chocolate-covered raspberries. Delicious. Absolutely delicious, guys. There is I would say there are two chocolates in here. There is a milk chocolate and a baker's dark chocolate. I'm getting the slight darker dark chocolate taste, but also this like slightly fudgier milk chocolate. And the two are in there, but the raspberry is right in the middle of it both. Well done. That is the weirdest. Look at the residue. I've never seen a beer do that. It looks like there's smudge all over my glass. That is bizarre, guys. But it's exactly what is advertised on the bottle. Wow. That's a very tasty beer. There are chunks of raspberry floating in the beer. This has pulp in it. Look, there's pulp in the beer. You see that? On the top of the... This is the strangest thing, man. I've never experienced this sediment. There's chunks of raspberry in here. Let's pour more of this out. This beer is crazy. You know, 11%, very drinkable, very crushable. Again, you're getting that multi-layered chocolate experience that is on the milkier side, but I do get a roasted bitter dark chocolate blending in there a little bit. The carbonation is not crazy once you actually swallow. It's all in the appearance, guys. So there's a big soapy, foamy head, and there are chunks of raspberry and pulp floating all throughout the beer. It's exactly what was on the bottle, guys. It's chocolate-covered raspberries in a glass. Absolutely delicious. The chocolate note in this beer is wonderful. The fruit from the raspberry is there. It's not to the syrupy category. It's before that. It's medium bodied. It's not motor oil. It's below motor oil. It's not thin at all. 11%er. It has a ton of flavor and the weirdest head I've ever seen on a beer. I have never seen these gigantic soap bubbles on a beer before. That is the first time I have ever seen a head that looks like that. Can you believe it? It's like they blew soap bubbles all over the beer. Now, the only thing left to do with this crazy concoction is to drink the rest of it as it warms, and I'll give you my final opinion. This beer is freaking awesome. But I want to break it down a little bit more than just saying it tastes great. First, if I were to tell you that what's on the label is what you're getting, like that image right there, this beer is exactly, to a T, what is on the label. That always is a super important thing to consider when you're critiquing beer. Did they advertise what you taste? And I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt, this is a slice of chocolate raspberry cake in your glass. It is exactly that. I even get, again, as I was saying, there is a slightly fudgier, lighter, airier milk chocolate and a slightly darker baker's chocolate. I can kind of get a nuance in the chocolate, which really makes me excited. The raspberry is strong. It's there. You get it within the chocolate to add some complexity, some fruit elements. I love seeing that in my stout. Visually, the stout is mind-blowing. There are these giant soapy bubbles when you pour it, and then there are these chunks of pulp showing you that actual raspberry was used in the brewing process. It's not just some fucking syrup like these commercial brewers do. No, we put raspberry pulp into your stout. I can see it floating around. I don't think you can see it on the camera very well, but it's in there. I promise you guys, it's in the beer. And you can even see the residue on my glass. That is raspberry poop. That is residue from the ingredients of the glass. That's not lacing. It's a different beast. It just shows that there's quality in your glass. That's what I'm trying to get at here. The nose is still wonderful. You get chocolate covered raspberries. It smells like the dessert you'd have on the label. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. And the back, a little bit more roasted chocolate. The front is a little bit more milky chocolate with the raspberry. And then it's a little bit more roasted bitterness, but not bitter. There's not a hint of bitterness. It's just bitter chocolate, right? Like you're eating a slice of chocolate raspberry cake with a slight bit of milk chocolate filling in the middle. Like that's exactly what it is. It's not motor oil. It's not molasses. It's a step below that, but it's also 11% and non-barrel aged. So if I'm looking at the beer for what it is on the base level, what it's comprised of, this is a 10 beer. Absolutely. An 11% dessert stout, non-barrel aged, with what's on the label, that's a 10 easy. The amount of raspberry and chocolate is wonderful. It tastes like cake. Minus, if there was lactose in here, I would be very interested to see what would happen to this beer if there was lactose introduced, because that's the only way it may amplify the dessert quality to another level. I think this beer could be, even though it's incredibly well done now, I can only imagine a potential here that could go even higher. Lactose addition. A wine barrel. Throw this in a wine barrel? Oh, I'll be there opening day. A chocolate raspberry cake in a red wine barrel at 13, 14%, whatever. I'll be the first person in line for that. Or right now, I'll order the first person who orders online and picks it up in his car. You know, wow. The visual thing. This beer, I've never seen a beer look like this. It has pulp. It has crazy residue all over the glass. It's exactly what's advertised, and it's a 99. It's a 99. I can't give it the 100 in this case because there's no date on the bottle. But it's a 100 in principle. This is a 100 beer. The style doesn't really worry about aging too much. There's no coffee or other expirable goods. However, if there is real raspberry floating around in here, I wonder if aging may hurt that raspberry taste. I'm getting fresh raspberry in this beer. It's there. And this is a beer you want to swirl around, and you taste it. It comes out. Raspberry. Chocolate, 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 raspberry. And it's not that syrupy, shitty, no, it's like real raspberry. And I can see it floating around in here. I have these little gray chunks. That's all raspberry, guys. That's what they use in this beer. That's a 100 in principle, 99 with a bottle. Let's go quickly, because I don't think people rated this high enough, in my opinion. Yeah, Untapped's giving it a 4.22. Who are you people? What am I missing here? This is way better than a 4.22 for what's on the bottle. I can't. What am I missing? 11% chocolate raspberry. It tastes so great if you just really sit and look at it and appreciate it. Now, here's my problem with a lot of these sites. You're going to get people who drink this at the brew pub. They get it on tap. They drink it for like 10 minutes and that's it. Then they write their notes down and they go online on their phone. There's a different art, and I've done that too. I've had beer at the brewery and not found it as good as when I've had it at home, where I can look at it and I can get a full portion and I can really analyze it, right? This is a beer that you want to really appreciate at the end of the day.